Hey guys, RTC back here for the video, guys. Do you want to see the most ugliest thing in the world? The concept for the Surface Duo? Let's go ahead and look at it in a second. But right now, you guys can see that this does not close all the way when you have the bumper case on. And a lot of people are kind of giving the issue of, well, this, camera bump is going to be awful because you can't close it all the way. Well, there's already been an issue if you do have the bumper case on. But with that in mind, here is the concept somebody on Twitter made. And yeah, it looks bad. I will definitely say that. So what they did, obviously, was they took the normal Surface Duo 2, and then they went ahead and removed an area on the right-hand side there, which, of course, would go ahead and be where the camera bump would go, so you can completely close this flat. Now, the whole point of this really doesn't make sense if you think about putting the bumper case on this phone. Main reason why is because once you put the bumper case on this phone, then you have another bump, not as big as a camera bump, but still a bump on this phone. So that wouldn't even go in that, section right there. Now, I get the concept of it being that you do this because then you don't have to worry about, when you don't have a bumper case on, the phone not closing. But actually, our man here, Daniel, made a pretty good comment. He said, for those asking why Microsoft doesn't do an indent on the other side to match the camera as Surface Duo 2 can close completely, this looks terrible. First off, it does. I don't think anyone's going to argue there. And second off, here it does say that this is extra space. That extra space is not free. You lose battery, likely important parts on the board, like maybe NFC. So yeah, every little detail, every little bit of space on these phones are very, very important. Even if it's just a little space for the camera or a microphone and whatever the case, these phones are so thin at the moment and so compacted in these little devices that if you take out even a part of this display right there, that little part, that is huge when it comes to removing, even the littlest part from the actual phone. So you might be removing, like he said, NFC or something else. So I do definitely say it is an interesting concept. I don't know how I feel about that, though. I'd say again, like I said before, it looks absolutely ugly. So, because what you're doing there is you're literally cutting into the glass in order to make this look. And the one thing I will say is the back glass, right, of this Surface Duo 2. Now, first off, yes, it's a little smudged right there. It's a little, kind of like dirty. But even with that being said, it just, I don't know. I just feel like the flush white back of the Surface Duo 1 looks absolutely beautiful. The flush black version of the Surface Duo 2 looks absolutely beautiful. Yes, the camera bump is just an intrusive thing, but when you start cutting out pieces and making little, kind of like Lego connectors here, it just looks absolutely, I don't know. But I do know is that they did go ahead and Windows Central did make a whole entire blog about this, and their editor did say that, hey, to be honest, this is what we see with every single other smartphone made by Samsung. Not really Microsoft too much. I think Microsoft had their one phone that had a huge camera lens, but other than that, with every Samsung flagship phone, we see this gigantic camera lens. So this is not new. This is not, out of the ordinary. But at the same time, though, this idea, this concept looks absolutely disgusting. But I definitely will say, I do believe 100% Microsoft is not going to do anything like this. We are going to see this phone come out, and this phone will come out with the exact look of this without any kind of iterations or anything like that. What I'm interested to see is how the bumper case is going to work, because my guess would be the bumper case, it would be right here. No, because then you would have it on both sides and it would completely not be able to close. You got to think the bumper case would have to, because that lip that on the bumper case, that would have to come right here, because this is where it comes, obviously, in the current iteration of this phone. but I don't know how that's gonna work when it comes to this, because you can't have it on the front, because obviously that's gonna go ahead and have a, can you imagine have a bumper right here and a gigantic camera lens right here? You are literally just you're not going to close the phone in any way then. I mean, you already can't close the phone, but you would even worse make it worse. Plus, having it sitting up like in laptop mode, you'd absolutely destroy any concept like that. So I think honestly it would probably be right here if there is a bumper case and a little cutout for the camera lens. That's what I would think about. Now I gotta say one thing, I don't know, but I kind of have a feeling that the bumper case, right, for this iteration of the Surface Duo 2, it might be a little bit thicker, the actual bumper, so they can match up with the camera. And the reason why I say that is because when you have a bumper on this case, right, and you drop it, the point of the bumper on the left-hand side is to take the impact, right, to not have the phone get hit. Well, if you have obviously a phone like this, will have a gigantic camera lens on the left-hand side, if your bumper is not, big enough to cover where the lens is, it's just going to hit the lens and break it. So my idea would be, I wonder if the bumper case is going to be higher up than the actual camera bump. And if that's the case, we're going to see even more people complain about that, because that's going to be even more of a bump on the back rather than what we've already seen so far. Because right now, with the bumper case, what we see is pretty much this. This is the lip with the bumper case. You got to keep in mind, the camera lens is going to be probably up to here. So imagine the same phone, but this is all camera lens right here. And then if you have a bumper that is obviously, thicker, like if this bumper right here, I guess it could be flush with the camera lens, but I don't know. Because, like I said, you wouldn't have this bumper a tad bit higher than the camera lens. So if it hits the ground, it's going to hit the bumper, not the camera lens. So you got to think that might be up to here. I mean, can you imagine? That's like a 40-degree angle, a 35-degree angle, pretty much, of it being, bigger. So definitely interesting to see what ends up happening. Tell me down below your thoughts and opinions, and I'll see you guys next one. Peace out.